things you have no control over. It's hard enough to keeping your cool when your own tennis game needs work, but impossible to keep your emotions in check and if your sense of well-being is tied to whether your son or daughter happens to win the tournament or whether your boyfriend has an ambition you think he should have. Enmeshment. It's important. Celebrate being single, page 64. I recently heard Marlo Thomas say in an interview, "I wish someone would have told me that. Just because I'm a girl, I don't have to get married." Her comments inspired me to include Celebrate Being Single in this book. I know it's been a while since I was single, so a critic who feels it's much harder to be single than ever before, and who's convinced that marriage is only worthwhile goal, might think, easy for her to say. Nevertheless, I've known and met so many people who do indeed genuinely celebrate being single that I felt it would be an appropriate strategy to include in the mix. From a spiritual point of view, we all face the challenge of being happy. We usually do one of two things. We're either grateful, celebrating the life we have, or we're busy wishing it were different. After all, the greatest source of unhappiness for each of us, single, married, divorced, seeking, widowed, whatever, is the same. Whenever we wish or demand that things are different from the way they are, we suffer emotionally. The harder we wish, the more we suffer. There are no exceptions to this rule. Conversely, the more we embrace that what actually is, our actual life circumstances, instead of what we wish would be or could be, the more content we will be. As you probably already know, contentment tends to produce further contentment. A person who is married but yearns to be single will suffer in the same way that a person who is single but yearns to be married. Or in a committed relationship, it's the gap between where you are and where you want to be that creates the pain. If you narrow the gap, you lessen the pain. Believe it or not, the simple acknowledgement of this dynamic can lead to a world of insight. In other words, awareness of what is actually causing one's pain can be the ultimate prescription to get rid of it. Most important, the recognition opens the door to experiencing and, yes, even celebrating the tremendous advantages of being single. Anyone can create a list of the obvious advantages of being single: various forms of freedom, diversity, less compromise, the ability to make your own decisions, just to name a few. But none of it means anything beyond a superficial pep talk without the spiritual insight to support it. That's why it's so important to become aware of the inner dynamics that create pain. The tendency to wish things were different. In the absence of these thoughts, your heart and mind will open to new possibilities. In other words, you'll not only be able to list the advantages of being single, you'll actually embrace, celebrate, and take advantage of them as well. This has been Divinely Guided.